Hey, come see me do stand-up in Ontario, California, Las Vegas, and Davenport, Iowa. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. So this is amazing. Here's Bill Maher with the good progressive. He's with the good progressive Matt Duss, who I think it was Bernie Sanders' foreign policy advisor, sitting and nodding along saying Palestinians are all pedophiles.
Wow. People are saying wherever you go.
This is coming from a Zionist as he's defending Israel, which is literally a safe haven for pedophiles, and gives them honorary awards.
Oh, name one time.
You ready for this? Here we are.
Because values and customs make a difference, okay? And the people of Gaza, by the way, if the Israelis did get rid of Hamas, they'd be doing a giant favor to the people of Gaza.
And we all know that the best way to deliver a favor is through the front end of a missile. Right, Kurt? Come on. I mean, what a favor, getting rid of Hamas. Not as big as a favor of not creating and paying for Hamas on purpose, or not keeping Gazans in a concentration camp. But still, it's a huge favor.
For the surviving Gazans, they should view it as a favor, yes. Hey, thanks for putting your cigarette out in my brother's neck, America and Israel. Did they thank us for our service yet?
Wow. Okay, here we go. Let's do it again.
Because values and customs make a difference, okay? And the people of Gaza, by the way, if the Israelis did get rid of Hamas, they'd be doing a giant favor to the people of Gaza who hate Hamas too. But let's just go through the lists. Because the Israelis look like us in most ways, values-wise.
Boy, they look like us in most ways, value-wise. Hey, you should have just stopped that they look like us. Mighty white of him to add that last part, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but yet they still bomb the U.S. Liberty, even though we look so alike.
Did this guy study? Anyway, here we go.
Maybe we're not doing it the right way. I don't know. Religious time.
Maybe we're not doing it the right way. No, you think? You think maybe we shouldn't be destroying other countries to defend the right of your smarmy ass to crack wise about Beverly Hills Whole Foods checkout lines?
Okay, he just did a thing about the Nickelodeon molester documentary about how there's a problem. Okay, and then he goes, Israel looks like us.
Then value-wise.
So what does that tell you, Bill? That the problem is real big there. Yeah, Epstein worked for Gaza. That's who Epstein worked for.
All right, let's...
Moron.
Because values and customs make a difference, okay? And the people of Gaza, by the way, if the Israelis did get rid of Hamas, they'd be doing a giant favor to the people of Gaza who hate Hamas too. But let's just go through the lists.
Boy, if they're so horrible, why do you think that the Israeli government, the Likud, and Benjamin Netanyahu made sure they were funded? Why do you think that is? No one ever asked that question, including those assholes sitting there on his panel. They'll never go, hey, why do you think that Benjamin Netanyahu, who's a psychopath and the world's terrorist, why do you think he funded them? Isn't it amazing they never bring that up, Kurt?
And also, how would you possibly get rid of Hamas, you moron? First of all, he's the one that looks down on Noah's Ark stories, right? Okay, fair enough. Are you that much of a stupid child? You just lived through 20 years of making fun of the last war on terror.
That's right.
And you know we can't get rid of the terrorists. We actually end up working with them.
Yeah.
So what in the fuck are you talking about? They would get rid of Hamas. How are they going to do that when they keep making more Hamases?
Maybe you stop occupying their land and stealing it from them. Maybe you stop locking them up without trial. Maybe you stop shooting their children. Maybe you stop doing all those things.
I bet that makes more Hamases even than paying them.
Really, honest to God, the last 23 years of the fucking war on terror, he's learned absolutely nothing.
He knows less now.
He knows less now than then.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Because the Israelis look like us in most ways, values-wise. Maybe we're not doing it the right way. I don't know. Religious tolerance. That doesn't exist in Gaza. You're either Muslim or an infidel, and you better be a Muslim. Female freedom. Free and fair elections, free speech.
By the way, free and fair elections. You know that 1 in 4 Palestinians has a legal right to vote in Israel elections?
Hey, do you know Israel's about to topple their leader for messing with their democracy? Remember that? Just before October 7th conveniently happened to save him from that?
Did you know that under Israeli law, Palestinian journalists can be held in what's called administrative detention without charge for up to 6 months? And that can be extended indefinitely.
And they kill Christians too, it turns out, which a bunch of people got mad at Tucker for having the guy from the Christian church there talking about them and their Noahide laws, which are a lot like Sharia law, believe it or not. They call it the Noahide law.
Yeah.
They don't have no constitution. No, they're not like us, actually. It sounds like a...
They're not like us.
I guess it's a Nazi thing in that way.
Free and fair election. It doesn't exist in Israel either. You know why? Because it's an apartheid ethno-theocracy with no constitution.
You're not allowed to take DNA tests there. Because someone might find out
you're not allowed. That's right.
Minkowski and something and not Netanyahu.
Here we go.
Gay rights. Can I just finish my list of
First of all, gay rights.
They almost beat Sacha Baron Cohen to death for dressing gay.
Did you know that gay marriage is not allowed in Israel?
Nor any civil marriage that isn't approved by a psychopathic, far-right, insane rabbi. There is no civil marriage. That was one of the things they were protesting.
And thanks to Israelis' blockade and bombing, you're permanently preventing Gaza's gays from ever getting to Fire Island. How are they ever supposed to nude sunbathe with a sexy casting assistant in West Hollywood if you're keeping that hot dick locked up in an open-air prison?
Whoa.
Because that's what they're doing. Okay, there's more. He's the pedophilia.
Pedophilia, I'll put that under don't ask. Child brides and so.
Pedophilia. Wait, are you telling me Jeffrey Epstein was working for Gaza?
Child brides and such, you say? So there he was blackmailing people for Gaza and not for Mossad?
Didn't Bill say they look like us? And didn't Bill just do one of his new rules about Nickelodeon and their pedophile documentary in which he said we have a huge problem with child predators? Yeah. Yes, Israel looks like us, Bill. This is amazing. The memory holding he's doing. He just talked about it a week ago.
Hey, remember Afghanistan where our allies, the Northern Alliance, who were pederasts, and we trafficked boys to them, and soldiers who had a problem with it got dishonorably discharged, had their careers destroyed. They got PTSD from listening to our allies sexually assault children in the tent next to them, and they were told to shut up about it. So what are you talking about, Bill? Like, whenever it suits us, we do that.
What about massacring thousands of children, Bill? Is that one of our values, that it's okay to massacre 14,000 children? Is that also part of our values? Or even more, 36,000? It's just amazing, the squiggly line of morality with Bill Maher.
Equality of the sexes, I'll categorize that under don't make me fucking laugh.
Bill, you ever seen a frumka? That's a Jewish burqa. You know, the real crazies have their own version of burqas that they put the women in. It's called a frumka.
I love how equality of the sexes don't make me fucking laugh. Yes, much better to control a woman's womb with a 2,000-pound bomb you drop on them. Huh.
Yeah, I hope the Gazans are grateful for this.
So dropping 2,000-pound bombs on them is okay because they don't have equality of the sexes.
Well, I know here we don't have it because some women with dicks are way better than the other women.
That's right.
How do you even criticize that when the fun house that you live in here?
The fact that these people think that this is where they should be aligned with, that these are the values that you support.
But I guess, again, the value of here's what he says. The rest of the list is also deranged. Free speech, equal rights, gay rights, outright lies, as progressive Matt Duss laughs and nods along vile scumbag that he is. But pedophilia, Israel is literally a pedophile rape cult masquerading as a society.
I mean, so are we. I don't want to hit out too hard.
You want to know how I can say this? Israel's becoming safe haven for pedophiles with laws that allow any Jews to legally return activist claim. This from the Independent. Also, the Times of Israel says many accused Jewish pedophiles in the United States Flee to Israel. Here's CBS News. How Jewish American pedophiles hide from justice in Israel. You're projecting pedophilia onto Palestinians as a Zionist? That's what Bill Maher is doing as Matt Duss laughs and nods along. The Israeli parliament just gave an honorary award to a pedophile gang rapist pop star who has the #1 hit in the country. This guy, Eli Golan, the Israeli Zionist arrested for gang raping and trafficking children with his father, came out with the song Amai Yisrael Chai 6 months ago, which became a viral hit in Israel. And he regularly does events with top politicians and the military. A pedophile gang rapist.
Jeez.
But Bill's going to judge the people of Gaza because they're valued. And so that's why it's okay to slaughter their children.
He talks to Bibi on the phone, so that's probably what Bibi told him.
That's amazing.
He's friends with them like that. So that's why he doesn't know anything.
And
he's friends with the head psycho. Bibi, by the way, when they go, oh, it's American evangelicals that want this final battle. Yeah, there's also a very strong Zionist group that's the book of Daniel is their book of Revelation. And it turns out Bibi, whose name, again, is not Netanyahu.
It's not Netanyahu.
It's a fucking made-up name.
His name is Polish with the ski at the end because he doesn't want you to know that he's from
Lubavitcher. He's in a cult.
Yeah.
And they're a messianic cult, just like the crazy Christian ones that people are apparently upset about. It's the same group.
How you can look at what Israel's doing in Gaza and the West Bank and what they've been doing since the what was it called? The Nakba. Talk about their culture. They did the Nakba. Also, the claim that Gaza under Hamas is some theocratic Taliban-like society is deranged. There are non-religious armed resistance factions like the PFLP operating in Gaza. There are Christians in Gaza with churches. Your precious Israel bombed them.
Well, I mean, killing other Christians in our supposedly Christian whatever country, that's a time-honored tradition going back to Iraq, going back to everywhere where we made it worse for Christians while pretending to be crusaders.
Here is Israeli army destroyed more than 200 archaeological sites in Gaza. The Israeli army destroyed more than 200 archaeological sites, ancient sites, out of 325 that were registered across the Gaza Strip in the course of its devastating onslaught since October 7th. The Gaza Media Office said that the sites included ancient churches, mosques, schools, museums, and other different historical and archaeological sites and monuments. The ancient and archaeological sites destroyed by the army date back to the Phoenician and Roman ages. Others date back between 800 BC and 1400, while others were built 400 years ago, it said in a statement. This is their culture. That's the Israeli culture. That's what they do to a place. That's what they did. Wow.
It's really hard to just like make me, after all the bullshit of the last 12 years, to try to lean on this like, Islam's really bad though, right? Pull that shit now to try to cover over this is crazy. You got to be a very old rich man who only rents whores to his side house to think that way.
Here it is, Kurt. Israel drove suitcases stuffed with cash into Gaza to keep Hamas in power.
But it was a strategy, okay? So it failed. Okay. They're doing their best.
We'll see. Can you believe this is the only show like this in our culture? Bill Maher. He's supposed to be some kind of truth-telling comedian.
No, nobody's allowed. If you tell the truth about things, that's not being part of a team.
Right.
If you're not going to be on Team Woke, you better be Team Daily Wire. You get two choices in life, right? And you better go along with one, but you don't get to be unaffiliated, just telling the truth as you see it. You need protection from a larger entity. Shit, they'll pay Hamas. They'll suppress you and pay Hamas to exist.
That is quite a segment he did. That is wild.
It's just a drop in the bucket.
Look, we're better culture. That's his whole thing.
No, we're not.
His whole thing since 9/11 has been we're about him and Sam Harris.
9/11 happened because of our despicable
And
culture.
they
on
all
purpose.
They say how they have. Oh no, they have in the Quran yet that you could slaughter infidel. What do you think the United States Christian Army has been doing since 2001?
By the way,
Since before that, we've been going around. We set the Middle East on fire. We killed 1 million people in Iraq on a lie. Still, we have a better culture.
What do you think secular humanists do?
We took Libya, the most successful country in all of Africa. We slaughtered their people, killed their leader, turned it into a failed state, bombed their waterways with nuclear bombs, with depleted uranium, poisoning their water, and we turned it into slave markets.
Hey,
That's because we have a better culture, Bill. Look what we did in Syria. Same thing.
we did it for freedom.
Look what we did in Afghanistan for 20 years. Look what we're doing right now in Ukraine. Or he doesn't know what's going on in Ukraine. He doesn't know the real point of that war or how it started or what it's about or anything because he reads the paper. He reads the Washington Post and the New York Times that is owned by the guy who's in bed with the CIA. Jeffrey Bezos has a $600 billion contract with the CIA. Do you think that the Washington Post is telling you the truth about anything? Bill Maher does, and that's why that's why he's allowed, just like Jon Stewart, they're allowed to have a show on legacy corporate media. That's why, because if Jon Stewart for a second told you the truth about Ukraine, they would bounce his fucking ass, just like they would bounce his ass. The one time he told the truth, they fired Bill Maher from ABC. He said the terrorists weren't cowards because they were willing to give up their life.
You had a great joke. How come after Iraq, the only one who got fired was me, which I thought was a very accurate.
Yeah.
I'm totally on his side. That's weird. You couldn't say that one thing, but these people get everybody killed
That's right.
and just keep doing it. And you haven't lost faith in the whole thing.
And he'll never tell the truth about another war ever.
Hey, by the way, do you know who, remember they short, on 9/11, somebody short sold? They
Yes.
shorted, you know who that was? Deutsche Bank. It wasn't even the Jews. It was a German. In fact, the guy who used to work for the CIA, who runs Deutsche Bank, because I don't know if you know about the CIA, they say the OSS turned into it. Well, sort of. We had an OSS, and then they merged with the Nazis, the remaining Nazis. So the CIA, out of the gate, was a Nazi organization, and that's why our friends Israel probably don't like us and have to blackmail our leaders.
Yes.
And now it's become an utterly corrupt, like fascist and pervert pipeline to all the good jobs in the New World Order, whatever the hell they're doing. Don't trust none of these things.
And I think Bill, honestly, I don't think they are blackmailing Bill Maher. I think he really believes the shit he says. Him and Sam Harris.
Sam Harris is like a mindset. Anybody tell you there's no free will? That's because they don't have any.
That's right.
That's because they don't have it.
That's right.
And they desperately want it to be that way because then they're not responsible.
And then they're not
for the vile
responsible.
things they're supporting. And it really takes a lot of the pressure off them, even though they're atheists and shouldn't care.
Right? Hey, come see me do stand-up on tour in Ontario, California, Davenport, Iowa, Las Vegas, Nevada, Chicago, Illinois, a special video show with stand-up, and Grand Rapids, Michigan. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.